A shocking confession from BTS's Magne has finally been revealed. Jungkook never saw BTS as just an ordinary music group, but rather as a family that changed his life forever. But is it always as beautiful as it looks in front of the camera? Imagine for a moment, what if BTS never formed? Will K-pop be the same? Will Jungkook, the Golden Magne, remain a global icon loved by millions? It's hard to imagine. BTS has become more than just a music group. They are a cultural phenomenon, the driving force behind the revolution of the Korean music industry, and more than that, they are a family to each other. But not many know that for Jungkook, BTS is not just a co-worker or group mate. For him, they were the ones who shaped him, saved him, and even replaced the family that should have been by his side. Of course, on the screen, we see BTS as a harmonious group. However, behind the scenes, their journey is full of bitter moments, sacrifices, quarrels, and unshakable loyalty. This is the story that has never been told, the story of how Jungkook found the meaning of family inside BTS, and how it almost fell apart. Jungkook is no ordinary boy. At the age of 13, she made a big decision to leave her hometown of Busan and move to Seoul on her own to pursue her dream of becoming an idol. Imagine a small child separated from his family, from a comfortable life, and gets into a stressful world with no guarantee of success. Many thought Jungkook's journey to the top was the perfect fairy tale. However, what many do not know is how lonely and lost he was at the beginning of the journey. "I don't know how to talk to people," Jungkook said in an interview. "I'm just a kid who doesn't know anything." He not only has to adapt to the new environment, but also to the trainees who are much older than him. At that time, no one knew if BTS would actually debut. Everything in their agency is still an uncertainty. However, in the midst of that uncertainty, there are 6 people who are slowly becoming more than just training partners for Jungkook. They became brothers he had never had before. In his early trainee years, Jungkook was not a confident child. In fact, he even considered giving up. However, there was one person who kept him going: Kim Namjoon, or better known today as RM. Jungkook once revealed in an interview that he chose to stay at Big Hit because he was fascinated with Namjoon's leadership. "I saw him rap and thought, I want to be in this group. I want to be a part of this." Not only Namjoon, but also Jin, Suga, J-Hope, Jimin, and V, they all see Jungkook as a younger brother to take care of. They realize that behind his shy demeanor, there is a child who is very talented but not yet confident enough to show it. And from then on, BTS began not just as a music group, but as a family for Jungkook. However, being part of a family also means facing conflicts. Many people think that BTS is always harmonious, but the truth is that this is not always the case. As a Magne, Jungkook often has to follow the rules made by his young. He is the youngest, which means that he has to listen more often than talk. There is a lot of pressure to be perfect, because as Magne, she is expected to grow up to be the best. In the early years of BTS, there was a time where Jungkook almost gave up. Pressure from agencies, high expectations from the public, and competition in the brutal K-pop world almost drove him to despair. "Sometimes I feel, is this really my way?" Jungkook said in an interview. However, whenever he feels tired, there is Jin who will joke to brighten the atmosphere. There is Suga who will give sharp but meaningful advice. There is J-Hope who always encourages him. There is Jimin who always makes sure he's okay. There is V who is always his playmate. And of course, there is RM who always believes in his potential. BTS didn't just save Jungkook's career. They saved his life. Not only once or twice did BTS show that they are not just a group, but also a true family to Jungkook. There are many moments that demonstrate this, such as when Jungkook got sick at a concert, and Jimin carried him backstage when V and Jungkook cry together because they miss home. When RM referred to Jungkook as the pride of BTS. In his speech when Jin protects Jungkook from criticism by saying, "Jungkook is our younger brother, don't hurt him." There is so much evidence that the bond between them is more than just business or professionalism. They have lived together, gone through suffering together, cried together, laughed together, and that is what makes them irreplaceable. Many people wonder, if Jungkook chose another path, would he still be the Jungkook we know today? The answer is probably no. Without BTS, he would probably have remained a shy kid from Busan who was not confident in his talent. Without BTS, he probably wouldn't have someone like Namjoon who could serve as a role model, or someone like Jimin who always made sure he was okay. BTS not only gave him a stage, but also the courage to stand on it. In a harsh and competitive industry like K-pop, relationships between group members are often limited to professionals. However, for Jungkook, BTS is his home. They are the ones who have been with him since he was a child who knew nothing until becoming the man who is now respected and loved all over the world. And maybe that's the reason why BTS is so different from other groups. They are not just 7 people working together. They are a family that has chosen each other, and nothing can replace that. For Jungkook, BTS isn't just about music or fame. BTS is the place where he discovered the true meaning of the word family. In the cruel world of the entertainment industry, many K-pop groups have formed and disbanded in a matter of years. However, BTS stayed afloat, going through a storm of scandals, industry pressure, and growing expectations. Many doubted them from the very beginning. Small agencies, concepts that are considered not to sell, even rejection from large TV stations make their journey full of obstacles. But behind the scenes, the bond between the members becomes the foundation that keeps them standing tall. For Jungkook, BTS is a place where he can be himself without fear of being judged. When the outside world puts him under tremendous pressure, his 6 Young are always there to support him. However, this does not mean that their journey always goes smoothly. There were moments where Jungkook had to deal with conflicts, both with himself and with the other members. As a group that has lived together for many years, there is certainly tension between them. In fact, in one of the interviews, RM once admitted that they had experienced a violent quarrel that almost made them separate. Jungkook, as the youngest, often witnesses fights between members. However, he also did not escape conflicts. There was a time when she had to learn to balance her role in the group, as a sister who had to listen, but also as an individual who wanted to be heard. One of the most emotional fights occurred between Jungkook and Jimin. Although on camera they look very close, they have had a difficult time where their personality differences have caused tension. The perfectionist Jimin and the more relaxed Jungkook often have different approaches to training. However, it was precisely from the quarrel that they came closer. They learned to understand each other, to adjust to each other, and in the end, to support each other. BTS wouldn't have been able to survive this long if they hadn't gone through difficult moments together. Rather, it is through adversity that they are increasingly convinced that they are more than a group, they are a family. Although BTS is home to Jungkook, there are times when he has to stand on his own. One of them was when he began to release solo projects. As the youngest member, Jungkook often felt that he had to prove something. He doesn't just want to be known as the magne of BTS, but also as an artist who can stand on his own feet. When he released solo tracks like Euphoria and Still With You, many people began to see another side of Jungkook.